Hello, y'all. This is Rochelle Moretta Brooks of Syracuse Stole Faith and Hope 2016. Um, I've been getting hacked, locked out of my account, um, and I just wanted to give a quick update on what's going on with me and my daughters, my family, and just as much as I can think of that is pertinent to the issue and the matters of hand. Also, I have not stopped advocating and assisting, and I've been dealing with retaliation as a result of me filing claims against the police, the city, the state, the federal government for the wrongdoing against me and my daughters, my family, and I. So, where I'm at now today, October 23rd, 22nd, today's the 22nd. Um, I want to, 23rd, today's the 23rd, today is Wednesday, October 23rd. Yeah. So, Sunday the 20th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, the 23rd, October 23rd, because my daughter's birthday was October 20th. So I want to give you guys a quick update. My kids have not been returned, as they have reported that my kids have been returned, and there's no controversy. When I paid for court filings or I file, I am experiencing, or I call or report or whatever, I've been experiencing severe retaliation. I mean severe. Um, so today, October 23rd, this month so far, I have endured Syracuse City police officers stalking, harassing, hiring kids, teens, elders, and various adults to harass, attack, and yes, the 22nd, the day, 22nd. Oh God, I look at my notes. The 21st or the 22nd of October 2024 at around 6:37 p.m. at night. The police officer said the teen or young adult, um, he was small in stature, had a black hat on, he wore all black, and he trespassed onto my property. I have an active no trespassing thing filed, right? So they just said, "F it, go on a property and knock on their door." And he had like a steel object in his hand, boom, 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 like a gun. He had a gun, boom, 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 banging on my door. So he walked his little self on my property. He's probably around 5'6", 7", anywhere from 120 to 140 pounds. And he walked on my property, banging on my door. Like I'm telling you, my hand to God, under penalty of perjury, I speak. All things I say are subject to penalty of perjury, and I'm willing to testify in a public court of record, positive law court, under penalty of perjury. All right. All facts herein stated are complete truth and upon belief true. They're not malicious. They're not frivolous. They're not moot. They're not made up, dreamed up, fantasized. This is a real life event that happened to my home, and that's been going on. Um, I am supposed to be entitled to victim services, so that way you can relocate to the case is resolved. But the federal government, who allow these people to operate under the guise of fictitious corporations, entities, and titles, have and are allowing them to do these things to me. So the government is 100% liable hereafter, right? I notified the FBI. I have to type it up, notify them again about the matters that happened the other day. And then a few days prior to that, which I think was that following Wednesday, I have some of it written down, the dates. This guy that I had posted on my TikTok, he's a big, heavy set guy, tall, dark skin, maybe like 250 to 300. He looks like a either a football coach or a football player. So I don't know if he has a son that's built like him. But the second time this happened, which was last Wednesday, last Thursday, it was Thursday, excuse me, this past Thursday. He was in the bushes at night. My relative was coming to visit to stop by, and they did. So right before my relative came, the person that fled, so I was trying to record the vehicle because he's a bulky guy, so he doesn't really want to run too far. So he's that brazen to where you can park the car on my damn near on my property. You know, my house is like on a corner, so I'm on like both sections of the street of the block, whatever. So of this side of the block. So he's on the side of my house, parked close by the not too far from the stop sign. So he's illegally parked, trespassing, harassing, menacing, and then he's trying to get close. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's trying to shoot. He's coming under the guise of some kind of, how you trying to be romantic or friendly. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm shutting my door like, what this dude, keep coming back over here. But this time it looked like a younger guy. And then I find out my landlord told me he didn't send the guy over there. He don't know him. Then my landlord says, oh yeah, the insurance people sent them because the house had some trees that needed to be cut down because they will cut down the tree. So now I'm looking at everybody. So my last landlord participated with the defendants, the city. Okay, they all had a hand in the interest. My landlord was mad I wouldn't sleep with his little punk ass. Was breaking in my house when I first got there. Had become sexually inappropriate, grabbed my titties and ass and shit. So I tried to find different housing. The house that I tried to find that was literally across the street from the house I was moving from, right? Had got taken. So the other woman came with cash in hand. I was going to get the money, and it was going to come like from account to account. So the gentleman, the former landlord said, well, I had to take the money. That is our policy. If somebody comes with cash, we take cash over anything else. So him waiting for a check to come that was guaranteed. I already signed the paper, everything. I mean, oh my God, I thought I was about to have a heart attack down at the building. I could not believe that because my house was condemned, no fault of my own. It was just subpar housing. The inspectors here do a half-ass inspections. They get paid off. I don't know if the landlords are sleeping with the fucking inspectors or friendly with them or paying them off. It's like a combination of corruption and tactics used during the corruption. So you have people sleeping with each other, paying each other off, doing favor for favor. You know what I'm saying? And tenants, the children are suffering. So I'm suffering and not knowing at that time, 2014, 15, that I had brain cancer. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I had all these issues going on. So I kept telling the doctors about my symptoms and stuff like that, but they were not listening to me. When you look a certain way or a certain shape, they don't believe you. They think you're looking for something else. And then when you get heavier or symptomatic start prevalent, they can't deny it. Then they try to defame you by you being, heavier or whatever. They try to make a situation. Now, it was just crazy. So I had to fight for every little thing. And I never would have thought in a million years that I would be here able to talk and articulate certain things and try to defend my honor, my household, and advocate for others who don't seem to really have any compassion towards me. It is a hard thing to sit out here and reach or see people going through stuff and just saying, well, here, this is what I did in this situation. Or if it's a new situation that I haven't experienced, then I would give my suggestion and find the information and say, here's the steps that they are stating that you're supposed to do. Have you did these? No. Here you go. Here's the information. Here's the forms. Here is what I would write in this situation. You can write this or you can add to it. So I always try to leave space or leave or tell you where you may need to add your own twist in it or your facts. But I've been encountering people who seem to have a God complex. It's already bad enough to have to deal with the enemies watching and listening and squirming because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to be named, you know, and it's not right that anybody has to go through this. And the fact that these people did all these things to me, and all I did was I sent my daughters and my son to school, and at the schools, okay, we send our kids to school, and they have people in the school, on the premises, underground, around town, you know, shipping our kids to and fro, and we're unbeknownst to it. So I'm gonna say this to parents: if you can stay at school with your children, stay at school with your children. And I understand I have parents that be like, I gotta go to work. Okay, well, you're gonna be possibly going to a funeral, to a hospital, trying to figure out what happened to your child. So it's up to you. You figure out what's more important to you. So if you can't figure out a career that makes you available to your kids, then I don't know what to tell you, because you're going to be looking like I look. And I'm just telling you it straight up. So I know when I was a military relative, spouse, a woman I met in Germany, they give parents income to stay home with their kids. Okay? To ensure that your kids are not subjected to any danger. I know in some of the foreign nations that I've seen, they've made, land masses to where the people stay somewhere and the kids are in like the Jetson scenario. So the kids actually get into like little tubes, and they get, they travel straight from where they have to go and back to their house. The floor lifts up. The parents grab their children, hug their kids, receive their children or whatever, and then they lock their floor up, and then that's it. I think that's what America needs. We need to kind of take measures like that, because it's too frequent. It's too many child predators. It's too many seductions for kids. It's too much of that, and our kids are not being afforded a childhood because they have to worry about being a baddie or being appealing to somebody that has a handful of money or running track. Like, that's crazy. And that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be allowed. I'm reading where an adult is an adult at 21, not 18. So no grown man should be really touching these 18-year-olds, but it's advertised at 18. No, it should be 21, as God said. Okay? But I understand some kids get 14 and just decide to do what they want to do. So I know it's usually case by case, but I know there shouldn't be a safe spot for touching kids. School shouldn't be examining our kids' private parts. My former doctor, Ted Triana of Syracuse, New York, Compassionate Family Center, literally went to my nephews and nieces' school and grabbed my nephew and niece. My nephew is really quiet and doesn't really talk a lot. He has a bunch of siblings, so he's like the quieter one. And that baby spoke. Told me, he said, I feel violated. In the sweetest little voice, that's what he said to me. So I did what aunties do. I got up at that school and I said, where is the paperwork that gives you authority to touch my nephew's penis and his like all of his bottom, all of it. I had that, so now the school is being threatened. So now I got the staff. Who are you? I'm his aunt. Fuck you mean, who am I? I'm with his mama right here. She right here. What's up? What happened to my nephew, and why is Ted Triana touching his penis in his private parts and shit? Why is he in there? What is he doing? Where's the video? Y'all should be, you know what I mean? My God. So now they want to call CPS and PPS and all that. So I'm giving y'all this information because I did do a complaint and I did report that my former doctor, he's at 300 Green Street, Syracuse, New York, 13203 or 202. Compassionate Family Medicine Center. And Ted Triana is corrupt. And then we had our final little meeting in September. And then he had another doctor call me this month, which was crazy because I'm like, you guys know that you're no longer my doctors. I don't know why you know what I'm saying? And I said, we can't talk. But then he started asking me about medical issues. So I engaged the doctor he sent, which I don't, but I want to be clear that you guys need to be careful sending your kids anywhere. You need to be careful and watching doctors when they're touching your children. You need to be knowing what medical tests they're doing when they draw blood. And there needs to be another freaking better way to draw blood. Our poor babies go through so much to get on this realm. I mean, from the minute they come out the womb and how they come out the womb, they are like in a devastating atmosphere. The lights, the noises, the coldness, random ass people shaking it. I don't think that's appropriate. I wish we had better instructions on how to bring our children into this realm. I wish the ancestors had left more guidance, but I understand they probably did, and it was stolen, and beat out of us. So I wish we get our natural remedies for birthing and parenting back, because these people interjecting themselves, and they are wicked. They see kids as objects and toys and adults. They don't see them as kids, because if they had any kind of empathy for any kind of human, especially a child's life, you would be compassionate. But they will take a child from a mother and a good home and place them in foster care, where they immediately undergo abuse. Immediately. The minute they get alone with your child, the minute that door shutter, they get in that car and go, they immediately are subjected to abuse. Whether it's starvation, they will starve your children and feed them little to nothing, especially when they don't get any money for the child. Okay? My kids endured starvation, abuse, defamation, mistreatment. Just all medical negligence and abuse, indifference. It did my kids really dirty. They did me dirty. And I had to watch those kids in that Elmcrest Family Center that's on South Spring Road of Syracuse, New York. I don't have the address memorized, but I want you to know exactly who was a part of hurting my kids. I want you to know the fake courthouse at 401 Montgomery Street that calls itself Onondaga County Courthouse, Onondaga County Family Court. There's no such court. That's just the name. They make up names and they call themselves a courthouse, and they don't have any kind of federal authority to do that. If I make a building or buy a building or finance a building and call the name, make a name and say my name is Rochelle Court of Law, right? That does not mean I'm a courthouse, okay? And you guys will look at me like I'm stupid, like court. Yeah, my name is Rochelle Court. Yep, of Syracuse, New York. I'm a court. Yep. Give me your papers. Give me money. You know what I'm saying? Pursuant Title 28 or 18. I will be in jail for fraud and impersonating government authority. And that's what they're doing. They call themselves judges, and they're not. They're not. The minute you say the word jurisdiction, they are coughing up their ass out of their mouth. That's all I kept hearing. Right? Because you're full of crap. Okay? So that's step one, just knowing who you're talking to and where you're at. And if you're safe, So check your surroundings going into these places. And ask them what their jurisdiction is. Ask them where did they get the power to do these actions? Who gave you the authority to question me? I don't consent to being any kind of shorty. I don't consent to taking responsibility for any damages you cause here today. I've never consented to that. You've never given me full disclosure of my rights. Who are you? Are you okay? Because you may be having some kind of mental lapse right now. You don't put on costumes here. You don't called your friends over. It'd be random people that they call into these so-called courtrooms pretending to be officials. Right? So then that would make the government liable. You are allowing these people to sit here in costumes, pretending to be courts with their fake seals, stamping documents, claiming to be a court, with these so-called court clerks filing this shit, right? Doing orders and executing shit, and they never have the power. You need to be in federal courts. You need to be looking for the highest courts, not no state, not no county, not no town, not no administration. Now, if you decide to want to play ball and you knowingly go into a fake court, then that's what you play ball. But you need to know that they can only go so far. and you are the driving and winning force. So you could win always. You can always win if you know you're in a fake court. Because at the very end of the game, you can ask for one thing: jurisdiction. Oh, I lost. So where was your jurisdiction? Right? If you decide to want to kind of like do a settlement, a private hearing to see if they stop doing what you wanted them to do, or give you what they were supposed to give you that they took from you. But if they are too corrupt that they can't control themselves, you're wasting your time. So you need to just go straight to the federal court. I don't care what case it is. I heard a guy state on this platform that 100% of people that are incarcerated, I don't know what court or what level he stated or was talking about. I'm assuming non-federal cases. But he said 100% of the people, and I'm going to say from state on down. That means state, county, you know what I'm saying? Not federal. Federal is supposed to be the creme of the creme, the top of the top, supposed to be on their P's and Q's. But state, county, local courts and all that, people who are arrested in those cases, town, county jail, are there 100% voluntarily. And that statement is in fact true. That is in fact true. Okay? When you are in these county, state, traffic, child support, you are in a fake courtroom. And you can immediately call, if you get out of there safely, right? You can call 911 and ask for a federal agent to be present and come to talk to you about the kangaroo court actions that are happening at this fake courthouse located at such and such and such and such, and being administered by a person impersonating government authority, calling themselves judge, honorable, administrative, law judge. And do you know clerks will actually play judges? I've had at least 3 clerks that I've seen so far, 3 or 4 that I can remember off my head, that they issued out paperwork. It wasn't even a judge. It wasn't even nobody saying. It was a clerk holding court with me. A clerk. Okay? A clerk. Not even a judge. Not even a so-called administrator. It was a clerk telling me that I got to come and all. A clerk. Okay? So these clerks are in these fake courtrooms in here sucking and fucking all these people, trying to get them to do their bidding. So we have witches amongst us. Okay? So you have people that are high strung. So I've had clerks pretend to be a judge. I've had lawyers pretend to be a judge. Okay? So we have some issues here. Excuse me. So today I'm being harassed by Syracuse City police officer. His badge number is 156. His name is Duval, Duval. He has a white male officer who's really, really tall. And I went after, legally, like I filed a claim after, there's a bunch of white guys, cops, that's been like following me house to house. Okay? House to house. A bunch of white male officers and a sprinkling of, I think, 2 to 4 white females and 1 black female officer that have been like following me house to house. Okay? And I was trying to say how many. I haven't seen but 1 black cop, and he was in the county jail, that kind of participated, and then he didn't. You know what I'm saying? I think he didn't know what was going on, so he just was, and then you hear your squad doing some kind of message, so he kind of backed off, and then he became kind to me. So he did the right thing after all, you know what I'm saying, and didn't do what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to assault me, and he was huge. So yeah, that was that. And every time I saw him thereafter, he was appropriate. He was still participating in corruption. They're not a jail. They shouldn't be detaining him. But I'm going to assume he may not know that he's participating in RICO, but he's liable. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody held liable for the damages that they knew or they should have known. But I appreciate him doing the right thing and not committing a crime against me. And I was in a recording area where the holding cell, and he had uncuffed me. First, I guess he was gonna hit me, and he was hitting his fist like this. Had gloves on, and the white guys were waiting. The ladies was like afar off. So they had it set up, and they wanted him to hit me first, because I had already raised the racism. So it's just too much going on, and I just want to give you guys as much feedback. If you have questions, I'll answer them. They have to be pertinent, and not malicious. I haven't done anything. I've committed no crime. I've done nothing to anyone. I've been sitting here suffering. And when I did some federal cases helping some inmates, detainees, I'm not sure if that's why I got so much aggression, because they told me to leave my house in December 13, 2022. And if I didn't leave my house, they were going to, it was 2022, that I was going to get drug out of my house. Okay? Officer Coleman, and there was some other white cops. I didn't get all their names. And then the Syracuse city marshals, who didn't have any paperwork, and there was no eviction. I had already paid my rent. It was overpaid by thousands, okay? So no eviction. Then I ended up losing my voucher, got it back. Then I had recorded the woman stating you have no evictions. And I'm like, boom, lawsuit, right? So that's what I had to go through. I had to suffer staying with a former a woman acquaintance that I knew, that I considered to be a friend, who participated with the corruption wholeheartedly. It didn't take but a touch, okay? You move in with people, and I offered rent. The county was going to pay her rent. She said no. Okay, fine. So now she's stealing and trying to take my money. That didn't make any sense. You could have got money every month or whatever, and I was still spending money and giving her money. That didn't stop. All right? Don't ever think you staying at somebody else for free. Unless they're like family, sometimes or true friends. Sometimes they'll say, no, keep your money, use that money to save up to get out, because you need to be getting your own. You're not staying here forever. Don't get comfortable. Some people have friends that they do get along with, and they do want, that's rare. And I knew I wanted to get my own. I never wanted to stay with anybody. I have no problem with staying in group settings or with people, but she was very problematic and a pessimist if I've never seen one. And that saying, misery loves company, she was the poster child. It didn't matter what I cleaned, what I got for her to eat, that she wanted, she still had an issue. And she wanted me to sit down and watch TV like I'm a child. And I got kids that I need to talk to. So I went into my room and would talk and play games with my kids to try to just keep them elevated while I was going through that. So you got to understand the extreme duress that I was under. Okay, trying to keep it together so I can maintain a conversation with my kids like we normally do. So, and then I got this woman at the door interrupting my call with my kids because she telling me to look for a spoon or where's the pepper, and I ain't been downstairs the whole day. So I didn't see no pepper, touch no spoon, touch no fork, touch no pot, touch no handle, nothing. It's just be like stuff like that. And then she was nonstop all night. I had never been in a certain area, and she would be, I'm like, what? I never been down, it was just, she was a pessimist. So she would want me to come downstairs. So she would say that shit, get me downstairs, and then want me to clean a room. So I ended up one night cleaning up a whole fucking living room with bats and mice and shit. Like, what the fuck? She wanted, I would have did that no matter what. But that way was inappropriate. You understand? It's very inappropriate. Busted in the bathroom. I kept telling her, you got to stop doing that. That's in 2 bathrooms in the house. That was very fucking appropriate. So I kept trying to figure out what is going on. So then she would fake sick, take laxatives. It was just doing stuff for behavior issues. So I'm going to the doctor. She wanted like nursing care, but she didn't need it. She was in better health than me. Moving up the stairs. So I advocated at first, because at first I just believed anything she said. Like, get this woman, she needs help. She has too much income. She can pay for it herself, right? So she didn't want to do that. So then they did give her medical insurance, where they give her like occupational therapy, but they saw her walking up the stairs without using the bar, and it just she couldn't get help. And then she couldn't get occupational therapy or physical therapy because she was in good health. And then she threatened the nurse that was trying to get her like home care or just put her meds in the machine. I was trying to get her the stuff that I had, like get her a med machine so she can have a reminder, and then you can monitor her med intake or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, and the doctor and me was getting along. Everybody was doing and moving and moving. Everybody was doing good. I never met nobody that was an addict that old in my life. Most of the addicts that I see, they don't really make it past like the 60s and stuff. I don't think I met one past 70 that survived that long. This woman is a pill popper, and I'm not trying to defame Eula Lang at all, but that's what she was. And her nephew and the relatives, her son, her sister was appropriate, I believe, for my interaction with her. But she was just a difficult person. And you know what I got to say about people that have relatives that are like that and they cover it up or they don't tell people? You should tell people that your relative has behavioral issues. So that way they at least get noticed that they need to be on the lookout. And you tell her no. You say stop or don't do that or whatever. And she's going to retaliate. And that's exactly what she told the mutual friend or former friend that we had, that she was going to get revenge. And all I did was I had to assert myself about her interrupting me talking to my kids. I just went downstairs. She was watching Jennifer Hudson and some other shows. It was some she was watching shows all day. Pictionary. I'm not watching that. I got stuff to do. I'm looking for housing. I'm trying to fill out landlord forms. I got to go and try to look at apartments and go downtown if I was trying to conduct business, looking for housing. I wasn't sitting there. It don't take that long usually to find housing. And I'm on the south side, so usually there's signs on the house saying for rent. The south side usually, or the southwest side usually have signs sometimes, so you can walk around the hood and word them out. So I was trying to get outside and move. But she was going through stuff. Because I noticed I had to hide my medications because she seemed to be targeting me about my medicines. She kept questioning me about what I take and all this shit. So I was asking our mutual friend, like, what is she, And Shirley was lying to my fucking face. No, I don't know. And the whole time knew she had issues. Didn't tell me a word because she was worried about me asking her to stay with her. And she was worried about her husband. I didn't know had any interest in me in any kind of inappropriate way. But it started coming out that he was a little bit of an issue with anybody. Okay, anybody. Anything and anybody type of shit. And he was also on drugs and drinking and shit. And they're just full of shit. So just be careful of the company you keep. And me, I try to hang out with older people thinking that they were wiser and wisdom. But no, that's not the case. They were young and they had backgrounds. I just got to be more aware of everybody. That's all. But that's done. And now the 2-year-old woman is riding with young teens and adults, rolling up to my crib, fucking with me. Okay? So when I leave this woman's house after being jumped on June 13th, it was June 13th, 2023, I got jumped. Syracuse police officers hired a teen and his girlfriend, and they had some other adults downstairs. All right. That boy put his hand around my neck and choked me. I was supposed to immediately get victim assistance. An officer, I forgot his name. I got it written down in the paper. I got to start reading off the paper. Or I snap a picture and then probably post it. That'll probably help y'all or whatever. Or if you want the claim that I sent in, I can send you a copy. It may have to, I don't even need to be redacted. It ain't not, But yeah. Just to show y'all that I'm, trying to convey to y'all that I went through a lot these past years from the day my video went a little viral, from July 2017 till now. I've been through a lot, and it is hard to articulate every step, and I'm doing the best that I can. And I wasn't allowed to get on this account. I just happened to try it again. I didn't even know that, this account was hacked. It seems like, I don't know. Stuff just be happening. My videos get altered. I made the news again, and they altered the video. They muted me, but then they talked over trying to repaint the narrative about the police use of force and them kidnapping me. My kids are an abuse of the use